Have you ever heard a story so strange, so unbelievable that it feels like it has to be a myth? Well, buckle up, because today we re-diving into a real historical event that has puzzled scholars and inspired believers for over 1,600 years. We're going back to the year 351 AD to the ancient city of Jerusalem to witness a phenomenon that defies easy explanation, the day a giant glowing cross appeared in the sky. Imagine this. It's a bright spring morning in Jerusalem. The city is alive with energy. Merchants are haggling in the marketplaces. Pilgrims from across the Roman Empire are navigating the narrow stone streets, and the daily rhythm of life is in full swing. This is during the reign of Emperor Constantius, the son of the famous Constantine the Great, the very emperor who had legalized Christianity just a few decades earlier. For the Christians in the city, life was finally getting easier after centuries of persecution. But nobody could have predicted what was about to happen next. Suddenly, someone in the bustling crowd stops, points to the sky, and shouts. One by one, heads turn upward. At first, it's just a strange shimmer of light, maybe a peculiar cloud catching the morning sun. But as more and more people look, the shape becomes undeniable. It's not a cloud. It's a perfect, massive cross of light stretching across the sky from the sacred Mount of Olives all the way to the hill of Golgotha, the site of the crucifixion. Ancient accounts, including a detailed letter written by Saint Cyril, who was the Bishop of Jerusalem at the time, described the celestial cross as being brighter than the sun itself. Yet, miraculously, it didn't hurt the eyes of those who gazed upon it. Its radiant glow bathed the entire city in a soft, ethereal light. Think about the sheer scale of this. This wasn't some fleeting glint or trick of the eye. It was a colossal symbol hanging silently in the heavens for everyone to see. The reaction on the ground was immediate and profound. The city came to a standstill. Merchants abandoned their stalls, leaving their goods unattended. Roman soldiers, men trained for discipline and order, stood frozen at their posts, staring up in disbelief. People fell to their knees in the middle of the streets, some in prayer, others in sheer awe. Saint Cyril's letter to Emperor Constantius emphasizes that this wasn't just seen by a few devout Christians. He insists that everyone witnessed it. Men, women, children, Jews, pagans, and even skeptical Roman officials. For hours, the entire population of Jerusalem shared this single, incredible experience. For the Christian community, the meaning of this sign seemed crystal clear. Just a generation before, their faith was an underground religion, its followers facing brutal persecution. But then, Emperor Constantine the Great had his own legendary vision of a cross before the Battle of the Milvian Bridge, which he believed led him to victory and inspired him to end the persecution of Christians. Now, years later, the same symbol of their faith was blazing across the sky above the holiest city on earth. To them, it was an undeniable message from God, a declaration that their faith was not only protected, but triumphant. It was a divine seal of approval, written in light across the heavens. Imagine the atmosphere in the city. Families huddled together, pointing upward. Priests raised their hands, leading impromptu prayers. The skeptical and the faithful stood side by side, united in their wonder. The cross remained there for several hours, a silent, powerful testament hanging over Jerusalem. Then, as slowly as it appeared, its brilliant light began to fade, eventually disappearing completely, leaving behind a clear blue sky and a city forever changed. But the story didn't end when the light faded. News of the celestial cross spread like wildfire across the ancient world, carried by pilgrims and travelers who had been there to see it. It became a legend, a story told and retold for generations. Of course, not everyone agreed on what it meant. Believers saw it as a miracle. Others interpreted it as a divine warning. And then there were the skeptics, who tried to find a rational explanation. Could it have been some kind of natural phenomenon? Modern science offers a few possibilities. One theory is a sun halo. an optical phenomenon created by ice crystals in the atmosphere. Another is a parhelion, or sun dog, which can create bright spots of light next to the sun. Perhaps it was a unique combination of atmospheric conditions, light and mist, that just happened to form the shape of a cross. But here's where those explanations fall short. The historical accounts describe the cross as being enormous, stretching across a huge portion of the sky. They also state that it was visible for several hours. Most atmospheric phenomena are fleeting, lasting only minutes. And how could a random illusion be perceived as such a perfect, clear cross by thousands of people from different backgrounds and locations across the city? The sheer number of witnesses and the duration of the event make it one of history's most compelling mysteries. The most crucial piece of evidence we have is the letter from Saint Cyril to Emperor Constantius. This isn't a vague piece of folklore. It's an official document from a high-ranking church official to the Roman emperor, written shortly after the event occurred. In it, Cyril doesn't just describe the miracle. He uses it as a way to encourage the emperor in his own Christian faith, framing it as a sign of divine favor for his reign. This letter has been preserved for over 1,600 years, a direct link to the people who stood under that luminous cross. So, what are we left with? On one hand, we have the scientific mind, searching for a logical, meteorological explanation for a bizarre event. On the other, we have the powerful testimony of an entire city and a deeply compelling story of faith. Was it a freak of nature? A 1 in a billion atmospheric alignment? Or was it something more? A genuine sign, a message delivered to a pivotal city at a pivotal moment in history. The Cross of Jerusalem from 351 AD remains an unsolved historical puzzle. It challenges our understanding of what is possible and asks us to consider the boundary between faith and fact, between the explainable and the miraculous. It eats a moment where history itself seems to pause and look up at the heavens in wonder. And even today, we're left staring up with it, asking the same question. What really happened on that spring morning in Jerusalem? What do you think? Was it a miracle, a natural phenomenon, or something else entirely? Let me know your theories in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about this incredible story. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more of history's greatest mysteries, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time.